Joining me for tea today is the legend herself, Julie Stevanja. She is the CEO, owner, entrepreneur of Stylerunner.com, which is one of my favourite places to shop for fun, fashion, fitspo stuff. I'm so excited that you're here with me. Tell me a little bit about Stylerunner and how this all began.
Going way back to the beginning, it's really hard to imagine now because things have come so far, but 5 years ago, no one was really doing much for women's sportswear.
Yeah.
It was really an afterthought. And so much so that the industry actually had a term for it. So when it came to women's sportswear, because men's was the biggest selling category, what they used to think about when it came to women's wear was just pink it and shrink it. So literally they would design men's wear and make sure it would sell incredibly well, and then they'd just make smaller versions and make it pink.
Really?
And I just thought, oh, that's just, women care so much around what they wear.
Yeah.
And surely there's better product out there. And so it was just being neglected. No one was doing much for it. Adidas by Stella McCartney, I think, is the exception. That was a real inspiration for me. She was leading the way years before all of these amazing, incredible labels came along.
Yeah.
But I was just so disappointed. I started it because I started Bikram yoga and I was going 5 days a week. I was obsessed. And so I all of a sudden needed a lot of activewear. And I went shopping and I just couldn't believe how boring the assortment was in sports stores.
Yeah.
And I jumped online and I was like, I'll find something online. And I couldn't believe that I couldn't find anything better online either. And so, I searched everywhere. I was like looking for activewear in Poland. I didn't care where it was going to come from. Somewhere in the world, surely there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I found a couple of really small labels, but again, the shopping experience wasn't great. It wasn't immediately that I thought I should do it myself. It was, again, later back in Bikram, actually, after a class, and in Sebastian when I was just totally blissed out and chilled and still dreaming about shopping. And I thought, why don't I start something online? It was just a response as a consumer who couldn't find the sort of range and experience that I wanted.
Yeah. But taking that leap is huge. It's no mean feat to start an online store. I think I've heard it's described as the Net-a-Porter of activewear. Yeah. And it is, was that the inspiration?
It was. Like, I was shopping on Net-a-Porter all the time. I was such an avid online shopper. And I loved the experience of Net-a-Porter. It was beautiful. It was aspirational. And I just thought, why does that have to be, only for luxury? Why can't that be extended to sportswear?
Yeah.
So when we started this, we even took things like having a beautiful box and tissue paper. I don't think that had ever been done for sportswear. Who was selling sportswear and giving it that much love?
Yeah.
Women love that sort of shopping experience. So we didn't reinvent the wheel. We just took what was working in luxury online shopping and applied it to a category which we love just as much, but that we felt wasn't being, sort of treated with that much care and attention.
You've had to come at it from the tech point of view, where you start a website, it's not easy, and you have to be across every single facet of the business.
Yeah.
But you came from a technical background, right?
Not quite, but I did have my hand in a lot of tech projects. But I did have to learn everything to do with all of the tech systems out there that we could possibly build our site on and evaluate them, and which ones are going to, kind of last and be able to scale with us, etc. But I just reached out to a lot of CTOs, chief technical officers at some of the best e-commerce stores, and they were lovely enough to give me their time, and I just took notes. I just learned. Before we launched, all I did was soak up as much information as I could, go to conferences, meet people for coffee, and I had a lot to learn.
You started with your sister, your twin sister. From start to launch, it was 3 months, right?
Pretty much.
Unbelievable.
It was insane. I don't know. I don't think I could replicate it if we tried. We were working until way past midnight, and we were back at it again from 6 a.m. So sometimes we were getting 4 hours sleep. Ongoing. It's not it was day after day after day. We were but we were actually having the time of our lives. We were running on adrenaline, so excited about the launch. Somehow we did it. We had to do so much. We had to create the brand. We had to go and find the brands that we wanted to bring on, pitch them, do our buys, get that shipped to Australia, do the photography, set up a website, hire people. It was insane.
Yeah.
But we wanted to launch in time for summer. I think that's really important. You know, like you've got to time, the ideal moment to launch. And we set a goal and didn't rest until we hit it, and we did.
Yeah. You yourself have just launched your very own brand of activewear.
Yes.
Which is so exciting.
Thank
My
you.
style icon releasing clothes. It's the best day ever. New Guard. It's so great. Tell me, tracksuits, but like real swaggy ones.
Like we always wanted to bring product. When I say always, over the last few years, to begin with, I just thought we would bring product together. But as buyers, we just see gaps in the market that we want to buy from people that we're not seeing. And so we do everything at Stylerunner, from your what we call off duty, but it's like athleisure. So, you know, sweats, tracksuits, even the shoes that we're wearing today, they're not performance shoes, they're off duty shoes, through to high performance, like compression, etc. And we wanted to start with an athleisure brand because we saw a lot of gaps there. Some super cool tracksuits out there. But in terms of variety, you know, we have a lot that are quite tomboyish and masculine, which we love as well. I wear them. But we wanted to offer some that are a bit more feminine. And we found that hard to buy for. So blush pink has been a really huge trend for us. And so one of the big things just coming through in our first New Guard range is lots of pink, and customers have been loving it. Beautiful embroidery on the back of them, because that's obviously been a trend. And one of the things that we definitely do is we look to what trends are, you know, happening on the runway. So when it comes to private label, often businesses want to do just really basic stuff. But we're like, no, we want to do stuff that is really aspirational, that is cool, that is reflective of the trends. And then the next big thing for us is actual activewear. So that is in the works. So we've done off-duty athleisure with New Guard. But stay tuned, because very, very soon you'll see true performance activewear from Stylerunner as well.
Yeah, that's so great. Now you're the CEO of this company. You have a lot of people working for you. You have a $1 million company to run. It's not easy to do that.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's but you know, I have learnt so much and grown so much in this role. Like luckily I did some business through my uni, and I worked at a bank for 4 or 5 years. So I had a really good business grounding, which has been really helpful. But the amount that you learn when you actually have to build a business, and not just, you know, kind of make it work, right? Not just make it functional and get that product to the consumer. But also when you look at your financials every month and you want to make a stack up as a business, like how do we get this to be sustainable? How do we actually make this a profitable business? Like that side of things has been a huge learning curve, which it's really easy to do textbook, but it's only when you run it and you have to make those tough decisions that you're, you know, kind of put to the test. So it's been hard. It's been really challenging, but I love a challenge. I actually probably wouldn't do things if they weren't a challenge. So I've grown so much and I've been loving it. Yeah.
So what do you think makes a good leader?
One of the things that I really love right now is that there's been this shift from what you'd see in the movies, right? Which is really kind of authoritarian leaders that were ruled by fear. And there's been this shift to, you know, kind of more empathetic leaders. And that is something that I feel I'm naturally more like. And I hope that you know, kind of proves to be a model that can be really successful. And there's certainly a lot of studies that are showing that now. But I think that, you know, having empathy for the people that work for you, like everyone is a human being. When people come in the door, and I say this to them, like if you want to work for Stylerunner, we're working towards a common goal. We all need to work at like an 8 or a 9 or a 10 out of 10. When we come in that door, we need to be on. You know, you can have your off days, but in general, we all need to be working at our, you know, kind of maximum range. But we also want to strive for work-life balance. You know what I mean? We're not going to keep you here until 11 p.m. But when you're here, be on. And apart from that, like, let's really honor that everyone is an individual. They all have different needs. You know, what are they feeling? What are their stresses? Like checking in with people. And I think that comes with more empathetic leaders. So there was honestly a time when I was learning how to lead people in this business, because I haven't been a leader really outside of this. And I just thought maybe I've got to try to be that authoritarian. I've got to be, you know, kind of devil wears Prada and like I need it now, you know. And it didn't work, and I felt horrible. I was like, this is just not my authentic style.
Yes.
And so, you know, I really had to experiment with what is my leadership style. And I also love being, I work really collaboratively. You know, I love input from our team. Like I get a lot of the credit. People, you know, love to associate a name or a face with something, but it's not just me, it's my whole team, and all of them are really on board. They love the business, they love the brand, and so, you know, it's fantastic working in that way, and making sure you share praise really regularly.
Does your husband help in the business, or?
He would be like a great sounding board for me. So he's not directly involved in the business. He has a really, you know, kind of hectic full-time job as well. But, you know, when I come home in the evening, I definitely bounce things off of him. You know, the first few years, probably a lot of the really big things. Now I've actually learned to do less of it, and it's really allowed him to just kind of have a bit more balance, because he had his own job and then was listening to all of my worries. And I feel like it's been, we've reached a really good balance for him. So if I've got something really exciting or really important, I'll still call him, or, you know, kind of share it in the evening. But he was as supportive as I needed him to be in those first few years. And now he's, you know, kind of letting me do my thing, and it's a good balance, but he's been incredible.
It's so nice that you have a partner that you can like truly rely on and hash things out with and talk things over. It's so important. What would you say matters to you the most?
I think that family and friends and balance is really, really important. But I've always been like really somehow ambitious, or like I knew I wanted to do something, and I think what it comes back to is this thing called self-actualization, which is all about being your best. And so I really think that whether we have one life or there's afterlife, so I'm not sure, but if we're only here for one life, I want to do everything that I'm capable of. I don't want to kind of leave anything on the table. So for me, it's really important that I just keep striving and growing, and kind of get that self-actualization, you know, kind of out, and make sure that I live up to what I can be. I would hate to be, you know, kind of on my deathbed and have not achieved what my purpose is, what I'm here to do. So I think doing that all with balance is really important. So it's not do that at all costs at all. It's make sure that you enjoy the journey and love it. But for me, I really believe in self-actualization. I believe we're all here to do something, and we all have a purpose. And I really want to strive for that every single day.
Amazing. What's your purpose?
I think it's connected to Stylerunner. I think it's still going to evolve as we go. What I love about Stylerunner is it started out of this need for wanting to shop for something more beautiful, but it's connected back to this whole motivational cycle. And the fact that it's in this fitness space, I have seen the trend of women becoming healthier. And if it's connected to that, and we're able to help people get healthier and live happier lives, that is so exciting. And I think that it's going to, you know, become even more and more about that wellness movement.
Do you have like a spiritual practice, or, you know, meditation? Some people meditate, some people pray. Your beliefs, like something to take care of yourself and your soul.
I would say the practice of gratitude is amazing. So I actually do count a few things that I'm grateful for every night before I go to bed. It's how I like finish my, you know, before I go to bed. But we also do it as a practice at work as a team. It's been a really big part of our culture from the beginning. We used to do it daily, and the whole team in a circle will share one thing they're grateful for, and you learn so much about people. And now we do it every Friday, so we finish the work with it, because the bigger our team got, it was like, wow, this is taking a lot of time. Can't do this daily anymore. I think that really, if you're in not a great place, there is always something to be grateful for. In the very basics of, you know, kind of clothing and shelter and food and, you know, family and friends that love you. The blessings that we have are, you know, so many that we should like never forget them. So spend a lot of time on that.
100% agree with you. It's so hard to be grateful and unhappy at the same time. There's always something to be grateful for. You're right.
And I just feel like as a practice at work, it puts people in a really good mood, and it just makes it a much more pleasant place to be. You know, so you could either be focusing on things that have gone wrong, or if you actually are all kind of, you know, remember something grateful that you're grateful for, it just makes it a great harmonious workplace.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Okay, what is something you would never change about yourself?
I think that just like who I am, you know, I think the older you get, the more you learn that just be authentic to exactly what you want to do and how you want to be and who you truly are. And I think in your early years, you want to change to be what you think people want you to be.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no, this is exactly who I am, and I wouldn't change it.
Okay, and what is one thing you would change about yourself?
I really believe in expressing your creativity is liberating and fun.
Yeah.
And I do it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I do it when I've got events, etc. But I want to do that every day. That's what I would change. I've got to do it more often.
Do you ever feel the pressure of being, you know, super fit, fitspo?
Yeah, totally. All the time. And that's like one of the things that I've had to juggle too, because when I first started this business, I started it because I was working out 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And then this startup needed so much of my time that I was like, oh my gosh, this is ironic. I can't work out as often as I used to. And I've just had to learn that, you know what, everyone is going through different things, and do what you can and be okay with that. Like I've stopped being so hard on myself for all sorts of things, and this is one of them. You know, my job is not to be a model, but I think it's still really important for me to embrace balance and have that healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I think when you are public and people are looking at you, there is a certain, I guess, responsibility to a certain degree.
And I think the tricky part is that nowadays some people look to Instagram or, you know, whatever it be, and things look so perfect that they feel bad about it. And so there's also this responsibility to be real, I think, you know. So there's put out something that is you know, inspirational and that people will love that journey and want to aspire to it as well, but don't make it look so perfect, I think, that people feel that, you know, their lives are just so far removed from it. I really feel that there's that pressure on people.
Oh, I've loved this chat.
Oh, it's been so nice.
Really
good chatting.
Very insightful. I mean, I look up to you as a businesswoman, as a style icon, and now as just a regular human as well.
That's exactly what I want to come across as, in just one of the many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a good egg.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thanks for sharing tea. How good is this tea?
So delicious.
It's so good, isn't it?
I'm adding this to my shopping list.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's
so
my
good.
favourite.
Love it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.